Craig Cook with Acre Mortgage. Welcome to my channel where we talk about mortgage products and different various topics about the mortgage industry and things that will help potential buyers, referral partners, anything we can do to educate you on the processes and the mortgage industry itself. So today's video, we're going to talk about how to get pre-approved for a mortgage. Before we move on, please, if you can, hit the like button. If you think you're interested in these topics and you want to know more information, we're looking to help out as many people as we can. In order to get notified when videos come out, you can hit that little bell button. And if you find that this video was helpful, please share it to anybody that might think this is good use for them in the future. So how do you get pre-approved for a mortgage? And this is obviously for beginners, somebody that's starting out that might not know a lot about this process. So let's get right into it. Why is it important to get pre-approved for a mortgage? Well, it gives you the ability to make an offer on a home, right? Unless you have cash, and even with cash, you still have to verify certain things. But this is the next best thing to having cash, is this pre-approval letter. That pre-approval allows you to be able to make an offer on a home. It tells the seller that you're eligible for a mortgage, and it gives basic terms on that pre-approval letter. It also helps you determine your affordability, right? How much buying power do you have? Where do you start, right? How much of a loan can you take out based on the information that you provide your lender? It helps you narrow down the search for a property, right? You don't want to go out there and start looking at $500,000, $1 million homes if you're not in that price range as far as mortgage qualifications are concerned. So this helps narrow down specifically your property that might be for you in terms of buying a home. Helps you understand your financial obligation, right? It's important to understand the terms of your financing, what the rate is at the time that you're getting qualified. What are some of the costs? What are some of the different programs? How does a mortgage work? You got to pay it monthly. Does it include certain ingredients like taxes and insurance? And you get to have all of that, a good understanding of the financial process and how it relates to you moving forward, even after you buy the home. So what is a pre-approval? A pre-approval is a process of thoroughly reviewing your application, credit, employment, income, assets, and other related questions that need to be answered. It also requires you to support this process with documentation in order to determine eligibility. So a lot of times you'll have the question is, okay, well, what's the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification? Well, a pre-qualification is the process of just reviewing an application and credit, and eligibility is determined by this information alone. And that can sometimes be dangerous, right? If you're just talking about what's on an application and what's on your credit, and if you're trying to go out and make an offer on a home and somebody hasn't reviewed your information to support the application, because when all is said and done, before you buy the house, that documentation is going to need to be reviewed. It's not just a review of the application and credit in order for you to get the loan at the very end. So I put together a chart. Okay, so there's three things that we want to look at here: documents, guideline review, and automated underwriting software. A pre-approval, a process for a pre-approval, they're going to look at your documents, meaning anybody that's doing a pre-approval is going to review your tax returns if necessary, W-2s, pay stubs, bank statements, anything that's relevant to the application. In fact, you want to have as much information reviewed as possible because you don't want something coming up down the line that could prevent you from getting financing. Guideline review, meaning whatever programs are available, there's a thorough review of the guidelines for that particular product. Whether that person that's reviewing, that loan officer that's reviewing your file, has an extensive knowledge and background in the loan types that you're trying to qualify for, or a refresher on programs that might need to have further review, right? I'm constantly, as a loan officer, reviewing guidelines and rules about programs because these things change frequently. Not only that, you know, you want to make sure that you're accurate. You want to make sure that you're doing the best job that you can and making sure that something is going to work out. And every loan in the industry, before you purchase a home, has to be ran through an automated underwriting system for most loan products. So the four major loans, FHA, conventional, USDA, and VA, they all have requirements to go through this software. And for whatever reason, if it doesn't go through, or it goes through that software, it's going to determine whether or not you're getting the loan. So you want to make sure that that part of the process is done. And with our pre-approval process, all three of those processes, I should say, or actions are being taken: review of documents, guideline review, and automated software. With a pre-qualification, you don't need documents. That's why that X is there. Guideline review, you don't need to obtain a pre-qualification, you don't need to have guidelines reviewed in order to issue a pre-qualification. And you also don't need automated software. Can that happen? Should it happen? Sure. But can it happen? That's a question mark. It's really up to whoever is reviewing the application and credit for your file. What are the benefits of having a pre-approval? Well, strength in offer, right? In most cases, sellers are only going to accept offers that have pre-approvals for mortgages, or cash offer, or cash validation, like receipt of funds, that you have evidence that you have the funds to pay for the house in cash. So this gives you a lot of a big ability in having an offer accepted. Prevents problems. So when you're reviewing documentation and having an extensive review of your application, the credit, the documents, the guideline, and running it through that automated system, you are preventing something from coming up that might aid to you not getting a loan. I shouldn't say aid, that's the wrong word, but it might prevent you from getting a mortgage, right? Why wouldn't you, as a consumer or borrower of money, want to make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, all the hurdles are addressed up front? So this can happen, and does happen, during a pre-approval process. With the pre-qualification process, it doesn't happen. Clear picture of terms, right? So I'll give you an example. If you're getting a pre-qualification, maybe at glance on your credit and your application review, it seems like you might qualify for a conventional loan, right? You might have the credit score, you might have the down payment, you might have the employment and income to support what you're trying to borrow. But let's just say you got pre-qualified for that program, and then during your contract phase, when an offer gets accepted, you have you have that same bank run it through an automated underwriting system, and now you're ineligible. So now the terms that you were given are no longer legitimate, right? You aren't able to get that loan. So now you don't have a clear picture of what the terms are for your financing. So the pre-approval process, we're going to make sure that we go through the guidelines, we get the documents to review and run it through that automated underwriting system, and give you a clear mortgage game plan so that you understand that whatever you're going out there shopping for is the loan that you used to go shopping with is the same loan that you're going to end up with when you're under contract. So that's very important. So, what are the steps to get started with this process? The first thing you want to do is complete an application. In the application, we're going to collect personal information. You're going to get employment information for the last 2 years. We're going to get information for your income, your assets, any liability information, any real estate information, meaning do you own any properties? And then you answer a few yes or no questions, and that kind of sums it up. After that, you're going to gather documents, right? Documents to support the application. So whatever's on that application, we're going to want to support with documents. So if you're a salary wage earner, we want to get the W-2 forms for the last 2 years. We want to get pay stubs for the last 30 days. If it's for assets that you're using for settlement or to support eligibility, we want to find out, okay, where are you coming up with the funds for settlement? Is that from your bank account? So we would need 60 days most recent statements from that bank account. And any other documents that are relevant to support the eligibility. Maybe we need a letter of explanation about something that's going on with your employment. Maybe we need a letter of explanation with something regarding a previous derogatory event on your credit. Getting all this stuff up front helps when trying to overcome setbacks that you could have potentially if you go under contract. So addressing those things early by getting documents is very important. The next step is the review process. This is where we're going to take all of your information, your credit, your application, the documents you provide, and review it thoroughly, right? We're going to check programs that could be available to you and look at the guidelines, make sure that you qualify by the application information. We're going to do calculations of income. We're going to make sure that we understand the file completely. And then once we're done that review process, we're going to set up a consultation. And that's where we're going to review a game plan, right? A mortgage game plan for you. And it might be that there is a few different strategies that we have or a few different loans that might be available to you, and we'll go through all those possibilities. Maybe you qualify for multiple loans, like an FHA and a conventional loan. So it's important that we go over all the different things that we suggest in that game plan. After that, we're going to issue the pre-approval letter and total cost analysis report. This pre-approval letter, again, is your strength in being able to make an offer, and it supports, the terms of financing that we reviewed. The total cost analysis kind of gives you a visual aid on either comparing price ranges for that mortgage product or comparing different mortgage products that we suggested to you. So you can see your monthly payment, your cost, and kind of get a visual of your short-term cost or a longer term cost, like what's your cost over 5 years with this type of financing. So you can kind of see and visualize, so to speak, what you have in front of you for a longer term debt, like a mortgage. Tips for success during this process: increased chances for a pre-approval come with good credit, stable employment and income, and down payment. So, right, obviously, if you have great credit, you have stable employment and income, and a down payment, you have more things available to you, right? If your credit isn't as good, you don't have any assets to support eligibility or different program types, and your employment's unstable, it might be difficult for you to go on. The good thing is that we're experienced here, and we've helped a lot of people in the beginning parts of this stage. So I would never tell somebody not to try to get qualified, even if you think you're on the lower end, because we can give you a game plan to get you in position so that you do increase your chances or likelihood to get pre-approved or eligible to become eligible for a loan. Having the correct documents organized and available. This is very important, right? So if you're trying to get something reviewed quickly, or you want to have accurate answers. We want to have all those documents available, right? That means that if you have W-2s, we want them clear, and we want to be able to read everything on the document that you provide. If you provide bank statements, we want all the pages to the bank statements, not just one. So it's important that you understand that banks look at every little detail. So the more information that we have, the more accurate those documents are, the better it is for us to give you a more thorough review of that loan that we're looking to help you obtain. And the third thing would be being honest and providing as much detail as possible. Think of us as your attorney, right? We're not the government. We just want to know, um, you know, all of what we can to help you try to get the loan. And we need to know as much detail as possible, because if maybe you avoid giving us some information for whatever reason, that might prevent you down the line from getting a loan if we find out something. Because I can tell you right now, banks have an ability to find out everything. So it's important to give us as much information and be as honest as possible when going through that pre-approval process. In conclusion, getting pre-approved for a mortgage is an important step in the home buying process. It can save you time, money, and stress by providing your financial information to a lender up front. Getting a pre-approval letter, you can shop for homes with confidence, negotiate with sellers, and avoid surprises during the underwriting process. That is key. To get pre-approved, you need to gather and organize your financial documents, shop around for a lender, compare offers, respond to any questions from that lender. By following these steps and working with a reputable lender, you can increase your chances of getting pre-approved and securing a mortgage that fits your budget and goals. So I hope you like this video. Get pre-approved now. I will put in the links, or excuse me, I will put in the description the links to how to get pre-approved with our company. I hope you like this video. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.